Welcome to the America's Virtual Chamber of Commerce and Industry, powered by the American Business Podcast. We are the voice and platform of American businesses for success in this age of AI. We are welcoming you. We are inclusive as America's Virtual Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Join us. From solo entrepreneur to Fortune 500 companies, there is something for every single business at AVCCI, America's Virtual Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We have committees, we have clubs such as Business Book Club, Public Speakers Club, and we are fully integrated with the American Business Podcast. It means visibility for your business, for your profession, publicity for your activities, for your company is built in with the membership of AVCCI. Join us and let's grow this business community together. At AVCCI, you can connect, educate, collaborate, and more importantly, build business relationships to grow your business in this age of AI. Thank you for your support and visit our website at avcci.us to learn more and be a member. Join us and let's grow this community together. Thank you.
Good morning. How's everybody doing? Glad
Good morning.
everyone that's on here has joined us on this wonderful Friday morning. I'll introduce myself, Teresa Evans, and my co-chair is Jolie. And we are excited. This is our kickoff for the HR version of kind of know your HR and what's going on in workforce development. Jolie, do you want to say anything first before we get into it?
Well, thank you everyone for coming to our first meeting of the Human Resource and Workforce Development. And this is the people part of AVCCI. So everything is usually about AI and incorporating AI, and you still need people. So here we are to discuss it. Kevin, did you have anything you wanted to start with? Any announcements?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, Teresa, and thank you, Jolie, for your leadership. I'm very excited, and this is our first AVCCI HR committee meeting, so it's great. And thanks for everyone for attending and for your support. At AVCCI, our mission is to promote, support, and uplift American businesses, nonprofits, and manufacturers. That's how we design our monthly event calendar. And this month, we also have different events coming up. Next week, we have Leadership and Growth Committee meeting coming up. We have Business Innovation and Strategy Committee meeting coming up. Also, we have a Proactive Business Education Committee meeting coming up next week. So I encourage everyone to go to our website, avcci.us. And when you go to the event section, you'll see our coming events. We have a beautiful event calendar there that you can see and sign up. Our committee meetings are inclusive, complimentary. So feel free to join us and follow up. Thank you. Jolie, Teresa, back to you.
Thank you.
Right. So we thought we'd start with just telling our background and why we're the co-chairs of this committee. So, and then we're going to take, input from people and what they want to hear from us going forward. So, Teresa, you want to start with who you are?
Sure. So who am I? Who's Teresa Evans? I am an HR professional. I will say currently I own Evans Consulting, specializing in HR. But it started way back before then. And I'm going to give myself some leniency and say maybe 30 years ago. I really don't want to go much further back than that. So I started actually in the banking world. In the banking world, I was a manager. I managed about 61 people, and it was at Greenpoint Bank, which I don't know, some of you might remember that name. And I was there for a good 20 years. Some of it, or most of it, was working on the operations and the mortgage department. And then at some point, someone said, "Hey, I think you'd be really great working in HR." And I'm like, I will tell you, HR, I'm like, I'm a little scared what if I fire the wrong person? You never know what could happen. So that hasn't happened, luckily. I did get training and all of those things. Moved on from Greenpoint, went into Canadian Bank and Commerce, CIBC. Was heading up the employee relations there. I went into, as they like to say, the big bad AIG, and we had a whole business, insurance business that was there, working as their head of HR. And I was there during the turbulent times when the news followed everybody. People were scared. People thought that AIG was, if you worked at AIG, then you were taking people's money. So that was a very turbulent time, and also trying to maintain employees. That was just really very, very interesting. Went from there, and I ended up actually going to a smaller mortgage company, headed up HR there. And after that, I went into the nonprofit side. So my last corporate role was head of HR for the United Way of New York City. And it really taught me a lot about the not-for-profit side and all the different things that you have to do when you really don't have a lot of money to take people out or for dinner or lunch, or have really, really nice retreats. And so it was taught me a lot about retention. And so that's my HR background. I do have a master's in health business and administration, and I sit on several boards. Yesterday, just as a anonymous, I was very involved with one of my committees that I'm the president of. We had a little political thing that was going on. Governor Hochul stopped by, and we did a lot of stuff with her. And that's me in a nutshell. And I'm gonna hand it over to you, Jolie, to talk about you.
Thanks, Teresa. So I'm Jolie, and I started my career also in insurance for Zurich Insurance. You were at AIG, Teresa. I was at
Yeah.
Zurich.
Hmm.
And I grew Zurich Insurance from 30 people to over 1,000. And I was instrumental in everything non-underwriting for them. So I did all of HR and the administration and facilities and anything under the sun. So I took all my HR classes and learned how to fire people, like you said, Teresa.
The right one to
And
say.
besides hire, fire. And I went from Zurich to two other companies. I was at two Wall Street companies and did the same exact thing. And then I started on staffing. Someone said to me, "You'd be great in staffing." And I always use staffing companies. So I switched sides and went to the staffing company side. So now I'm doing hiring for pretty much thousands of companies. I worked at about four different companies before I started my own company, which is Jobs by Jolie. I've been doing Jobs by Jolie for 11 years now on my own, and I just love it. So I've branched out into where I can staff every position. So to me, staffing is really, like I said before, the people aspect is who's going to be a fit for your company, who's going to be a cultural fit, who's going to be able to do the hours you need, there's so much more involved in the people part of a company. So I think Teresa and have a great balance between the policies and procedures and the actual hiring of people. And between the two of us, like we can probably answer any questions you have on HR and workforce development. And since we have many years experience between the two of us, so we thought that for this committee, we'll be getting into a lot of different things, and we want definitely input. If people have questions on their staff, or they need hiring, or anything which comes up all the time. So the staff is their employees are one of the top expenses of any organization. So it's always very important to hire the right people and keep them, and have a handbook so they know the guidelines and things like that. So that here we are to discuss it, and we look forward to, a great committee, and definitely want input again. So, does anyone have any questions
Or
right
maybe,
now about?
maybe, Jolie, maybe we can go around and have everybody introduce themselves.
Yeah, so we know who's on the call. That would be good.
So you want to, I mean, I could look at my screen and just sort of call people out. I think
Does Kevin
David, you're
wanna
the
do it?
first one on my screen.
Uh-oh, always the first. Hi, I'm David Faverio. I am the president of Pupfish Sustainability Solutions. We are a company that does electronics recycling and certified data destruction. We're a small company. We have 3 full-time, 3 part-time, and we staff up for jobs if they're big jobs, and we need people big, strong, hopefully college kids to help lift those heavy devices for us. So we're looking at some big jobs, so staffing may be an issue. So yeah, I'd just like to learn more and understand more. As a small company, we have small problems, but I know they can also turn into big problems rather quickly. So thanks for having me.
Thanks, David. I think the next one on my screen is Haim. That the right pronunciation?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm a dream maker. I figure out way to take it from your head and place it in your hand. I do it now for 17 years, and I can keep you for 3 days, just tell you a story what I did. That's what I do.
Okay, all right. And what are you hoping, excuse me, to get out of this series?
To meet more people.
All
Think
right.
about that this way. We have about 1 million different businesses around the world, but we have only one product. Our product is people.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm about to meet people.
All right. All right. Thank you.
So I appreciate that. I saw that Mark said he had to leave early, so maybe Mark should go before we lose him, and I'm happy to go next.
We run a company called
So-
Avcci Staffing. And for the last 17 years, we've been helping both tech companies and insurance companies, ironically, with both of your insurance backgrounds, with their hiring needs. We tend to look at it as consultative recruiting, right? Most of our clients are small to mid-size, so they don't have the expertise on best hiring practices. So we try to help them build the framework for good hiring while we're finding them good people.
Okay. Thank you, Mark.
welcome.
And understand that you're going to have to leave, but hope to see you at our next one that's coming up next month.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you. Ian?
Sure. Hi. Thank you. Ian Sterling. I work at Sterling Risk. We are a full-service insurance brokerage, providing risk management and insurance solutions to everybody. We have somewhere in the realm of 300 some odd employees across multiple states. I am licensed PNC, and I've been recently focused on group health solutions of all kinds, including fully insured and self-funded, which is a big buzzword for a lot of companies, and maybe not a fit for everybody. My job is to inform businesses what their options are and then help them make a decision on it. What I guess I'm intimately familiar with Zurich and AIG during both of the times that you both worked there. Wonderful companies. And what I'm hoping to get out of the committee here, in addition to meeting people like Chaim said, is knowledge and information. The more informed I am about different businesses and how they solve their people solutions, the better I can do my job.
Perfect. Thank you. So going on to those that are a little camera shy. No, is Francis on?
Yeah, hi, I'm on. Uh, just been driving around. That's why I just got back. Uh, so yeah, Francis Borges. I'm consulting partner at Era Group, and what we do is investigate money that was never stolen. It's just drifted away. So we help businesses uh, uncover hidden EBITDA within their overhead spend and all the other expenses beyond employees. So the rest of the balance sheet and the rest of the P&L. And what we do is done risk-free for businesses, meaning we get rewarded only on the savings we deliver. Uh, Along with Naeem, who's my partner, we are the co-chairs of the manufacturing and healthcare. Uh, we both of us come with working 25 years plus consulting. A lot of it has been, again, similar Fortune 100 kind of companies. In fact, AIG was one of my clients. So was Zurich, but
Ah,
across manufacturing, across healthcare, across investment banking and insurance. And focus is working with CFOs. I've always worked with CFOs on the financial transformation and on looking at the sourcing side. Uh, so want to bring that expertise to the mid market, and that's where we are focused on. So and it's helping CFOs really figure out how to find savings, improve their cash flow, improve their EBITDA, and focused on all the at this point with the Era Group, getting that expertise on all the overhead spend they have. But yeah, in this session, I would love to understand. Actually, in this committee, I would love to understand what else we can help them on as far as the rest of the expense lines of employees, things that we do not touch. We do not advise any hiring, firing. We advise them to find savings first within other areas before they hit the easy button, which is fire employees. The worst thing to do, but unfortunately, that's the first thing that happens when an employee is, when a company is having problems. So
okay.
Francis Borges, Era Group Consulting. Thank you.
Thank you, Francis. That was
Hi, I'm Christine Daniels. I'm a high performance coach, executive strategist, and keynote speaker. I'm also a founding member of America's first virtual Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the co chair of the Leadership and Management Growth Committee. I run my own business. It's a coaching and consulting practice. The work I do is about developing leaders, building stronger teams, and integrating high performance with personal alignment, that inner work that makes the outer work sustainable. I deliver this through executive coaching, leadership development, and strategy work with executives, founders, and leadership teams. Before this chapter of my career, I spent over 25 years across capital markets, family office investing, and venture capital. One of the things I value most about AVCCI is what it actually is: a national community where professionals, business owners, and organizations connect, collaborate, and amplify each other's work. Building a business is one thing, building it with the right relationships, the right visibility, and the right network across the country, that is something else entirely. And AVCCI is where that happens. If this sounds like the kind of community you've been looking for, we would love to have you. Learn more at avcci.us and learn more about my work at christineadaniels.com. I look forward to connecting.
okay. Let's go to Nerio.
Well, yeah, nice to meet you. So I'm with IMSM. We are a consulting firm also. There you go. I make sure my camera works. I'll call later. So yeah, we're a consulting firm. We primarily help implement quality management systems. So I know if I've talked to Francis before, I also do a lot with manufacturers mostly, but we work with technology, all kinds of industries. Was happy to pop in. I saw that it was, human resource, workforce development. I used to do a lot of that in my previous role. We did a lot more like around training and things, and the soft skills. I got pretty involved with like things like ESL, supervisory training, things like that. So I did have to work a lot with the either all the different titles you guys have, right? Head of people or and anybody, pretty much anyone who's in charge of the people at the company. But even with what I do now, I mean, I do get myself involved with those who work primarily with people because the standard that we help companies implement has to do with the entire organization from the top down. And that, typically will improve communications and, kind of what I like about it, especially in terms of its people, it promotes accountability and, finding what went wrong and then going to fix it and documenting it. So that's the real basics of a quality management system. But I find that, yeah, even like, in the HR world, they definitely can appreciate like a lot of the things that come from having a quality system in place. So yeah, definitely happy to be here.
Well, happy to have you.
Thank
And I think the last person I see, and if not, we missed anybody, please let us know, is Sydney.
Hi, yes, I'm Sydney. I work for Kevin, and I've just been attending all of the AVCCI meetings to help support you guys with whatever you need. So if there's any announcements you need to make or any notes, just let me know and I'll help you out. And it's nice to meet everyone.
Perfect. Thank you. And I mean, I'll say other things, of course, and thank everybody for having the conversations, introducing yourselves, telling us kind of what you're looking for. I would say what we're trying to get out of this webcast is to provide some practical, some timely, relevant information, HR information. And it's all in an evolving world of human resources. I mean, human resources, and I can go into the history, not today probably, but maybe in our next one, from when it was personnel, right? And people just hired and fired. And now we're sitting at the table making decisions with the CEOs. We'll explore trends, some regulatory updates. It's always good to understand what the regulatory updates are. A lot of them come around January of each year, but some come in a little after that year. But it's good, especially for smaller businesses, to understand that. We'll talk a little bit about best practices and what happens, what's the best way to do various things, as everybody's talking about hiring and firing, but it's also the benefits. What's the best practice? What's the best practice on leave of absence, holidays, things like that. Um, we are talking about hiring. We want to know and we want to talk about what's the best way to attract people. And once we attract them, how do we keep them? So it's developing them to make sure that they stay, and that we retain, because it's a lot more expensive to now hire another person once somebody has left. And so once we find somebody that we think is really going to work, we need to be able to figure out how to keep them. We want to foster a positive work environment that goes to part of it law, meaning as far as the EEOC is concerned, but part of it is law. And then another part of it is just certain team things that you want to do with your group, whether they're summer outings or just let's go for a happy hour or a holiday thing, stuff like that. So this is for all of you that's on this call. It's for HR professionals that you're already a professional, business leaders like many of you that are on this call, managers, executives, anybody really that's interested in people. Jolie said that before. We want to talk about the people. We know all about AI, not the details yet, but a lot of us are putting our fingers into the whole AI process. But we still have people, and we want to know, how do we handle that? What do we do? It's the thing about the people side is that it's not always black and white. It's a little gray in there because people are not robots. They're not going to just do the same thing all the time. So we want to talk about that. And it's really the webcast, in my opinion, and I'm Jolie's, is to provide some valuable insights into everything that we've been talking about and have some actionable tools for people as we, close out each month, and opportunities for discussion. So as Jolie had said before, of course, we want to know what everybody's thinking, what they're looking for. The only thing I would say for my HR part, when we tell stories, we'll tell a couple of stories. Oh my God, this happened, that happened. We really don't want names. The names will be confidential. Keep them quiet, but we are certainly happy to hear kind of what some issues are. And then the only other thing I would say, as far as going back to me myself, on my consulting side, just as Jolie said, I'm happy to help people as far as handbooks, policies, administrative stuff, things of that nature. So that's sort of what my specialty is, and keeping in line with all that. I'm going to go back to my co-chair, Jolie, to see what else she's got to input for us.
Right. And to piggyback on that, I always say I fit square pegs in round holes. Dealing with people is not an exact science, and you can't make people do what you want them to do all the time. And it's really, people, I find people think I could do anything, and that's never really the case. They can't. So it's weeding through and trying to figure out how to find the right people that will benefit your organization. So just for a little info, I do a lot of healthcare hiring also, and it's very hard to find some healthcare people in Long Island. So we have our Indeed rep, which we have access to because we do a lot of Indeed things and spend a lot of money there. And they had told us that the first 900 or so jobs on Indeed are all Northwell. So if you're a healthcare company in Long Island and you want to put an ad up, you're never going to get anyone seeing your ad because of this. So I thought that was just interesting, and to see how hard it is to find the correct people for your organization. So if you're looking for a healthcare job and the first 20, 30 pages are all for Northwell, how are you going to find someone for your company? What other ways do we go about looking for people and getting the people with the experience you need? So, and that goes for every industry. So I thought that was just an interesting piece of information that I will share with you. So when Indeed told me that, I couldn't believe it. And so, right. So if anyone's hiring and they want to understand like where to go to find the right people, because it's also not about money. And Teresa, you'll probably concur with this. There's
Definitely.
more than money that makes your employees happy. So I don't hear so often that money is the factor. I hear so many other things. And these days, benefits are a fortune. A lot of companies don't want to offer a really good plan for employees because they can't afford it or different things like that. So I think we have we're going to have a guest on also that talks about specifically with benefits and going over that. I think he could make today's meeting. So that's what we want to do. Bring on different, if anyone wants to be a guest, please let us know
Mhm.
and talk about your problems in HR and your workforce, and we could discuss it together, things like that, and go from there. So, Teresa, you have anything?
Thank you. Um, I would say that, just as Jolie said, there are the different things that we plan on talking about. First, we've got the HR compliance. So I think that's something that is vital to organizations. Smaller organizations don't always understand or are not aware, not any fault of their own, but they don't not on that list. They're not on that mailing list or the email list to get the information. So HR priorities, hiring and onboarding. So once you find somebody, you now have to figure out how you're going to onboard, which goes back to keeping them, making sure they understand everything. And of course, all the workplace policies, whether it's the 1 in 5 poster that everyone has to have, whether it's the correct documentation if someone's not doing well. How many times have I heard, and working in the corporate world, this person is really not doing what they're supposed to do, and I want to fire them now. Like, well, no. Did you have conversations with them before? Did they know they weren't doing, what they were supposed to do? We need to talk about documentation. So those things keep managers, keep employers out of trouble. Wage and hour basics, so that we are not we're making sure that people are, first of all, making it at a minimum the minimum wage. So we can't have someone making less than the minimum wage, but that we're also paying people fairly within the organization. So we got to think about those things. And record keeping. Let's just say somebody does decide to come and sue an organization. Your friend is the documentation that you took and made sure that you saved, so that when you have to go and speak to the attorneys or speak to um, law enforcement type people, you have the information, the documentation, the time things happen, who said what, as opposed to now trying to remember everything that happened. Um, we can also talk about, and I know people are wondering, what are the HR mistakes? What's really going to get me in trouble? And I'm going to say, and this is in my bailiwick, is outdated handbooks. An outdated employee handbook will get you in trouble because it won't have all the current information that is required by law. So keep that in mind as far as the handbooks are concerned. Inconsistent policy enforcement. You can't say this for this employee and another for the next employee. It's got to be consistent. Certainly, people have different skill sets, and we understand that, and different backgrounds. And will you treat them based on that? Yes, but you still have to be consistent based on what you have as an organization to offer them. We spoke about the documentation, employee classification errors. So we have what we call exempt employees and we have non-exempt employees. Exempt employees are paid by salary. Non-exempt are paid hourly. And so there's a lot of laws around that to make sure that they're getting the proper overtime, that they're not, especially on the salary part, if they're saying that they're working, you have to, as a salaried employee, you are getting paid for the entire year. You're paid in that lump number. And if you come in on a Saturday, you work on a Sunday, you work past 40 hours, you're not going to get overtime. But of course, sometimes people will say, well, maybe I can get an extra day off. And that's fine as long as you're doing it for everyone. So we just have to keep that part in mind. And the other side of it, and you're talking about an employee that is working on an hourly basis, let's just say, okay, can this employee go to this office or that office? Or I'm going to send them an email and it's after working hours. That employee gets paid for it. So keep those things in mind. Things like that are what we want to go into a little bit more detail as we move forward. I would say before going into anything else in that, is anyone on the call have any questions that they want to talk about or conversation?
Looks
Yeah.
like we also have Kelly Porty joined.
Hi, Kelly. How are you? Can you introduce yourself and tell us what you're hoping to get from our sessions? You're on mute right now.
I know unmute.
There you go.
Okay. Hi. Hello, everybody. I'm Kelly Porty. I'm the Veteran and Community Outreach Liaison for Paws of War. We're a nonprofit. We support veterans, active service members, first responders, and animal rescue. So we have a little bit of a unique mission. And today it's my first time joining this group. And
This is the first time we're doing it too.
oh, that's great.
It works great.
I have an HR background, so very familiar with the topics that we're discussing. I think you're absolutely incorrect saying that it's difficult to find the right people for the right positions. I think everyone gets overloaded and inundated with using some of the different databases and recruitment initiatives. Sometimes it's hard to filter through that. I've been finding for us, we really find people through engagement and connection and referrals. That's worked very well for us. So yeah, I just I'm happy to be here and just happy to be part of the conversation. So thank you for having me today.
We're happy to have you as well. Ian, I think you had a question.
Well, not so much a question as I appreciate what you guys are saying, and again, it's timely. Just a couple of points that you were bringing up that I wanted to kind of tee up, I guess. What I find so interesting is I read recently, for the first time in, I can't say in history, but for the first time that I've been working, salary is not the most important item that individuals look for when they're looking for a job. In fact, it turns out that employee benefits, or well, I'd say a company culture, but also employee benefits are really a decision maker. You guys absolutely mentioned that healthcare costs are rising and employers are being put into a position where it's very difficult for people to give that. I've experienced that myself working at my agency. And there are more and more creative solutions that are being offered. The problem that I see is that the solutions that are taken may not be properly explained. There isn't a proper roadmap on how to implement it. And then it's a very big difference. It's very difficult because you as an employer are balancing your budget. So how can I make sure that I spend the right amount of money? But then you're also balancing what an employee, their user experience when it comes to both coming into work every day and then also having to go to the doctor, and you have families and you have this. It's just a lot. And I always like to say when I'm talking to clients that you didn't start your business to become an expert in insurance, and I feel like it's very similar. You didn't start your business unless you're a staffing professional or an HR director. You didn't start your business in order to become an expert in healthcare. It's a very small needle to thread. And I guess, like I said, I don't have a question. I'm just, agreeing with a lot of the stuff that you're saying. There's different resources from a technology piece to a group health piece, and it's important to look at it all.
Definitely. And as Jolie said, one of our upcoming speakers will talk about insurance and all the different things, how to save money. I mean, we've had a conversation with him, and he was able to save organizations money based on what type of insurance you have for your employees. But then there are other things, and we can, start to talk about them as far as employees are concerned. Sometimes, from a financial standpoint, if we do a day off, an extra day off for the work that they've done, does it cost technically, does it cost the organization money? Yes, because the employee is out of the office for that day. But I believe organizations get a lot more out of happiness from the employee than what they have to spend on that one day that the employee got paid and wasn't in the office. And little get-togethers, recognition. Sometimes a certificate on a wall. You give somebody a certificate, and they are so happy. They are excited. Look what I am the employee of the week, the month. I was the trainer and this. So things like that don't cost a lot. People get excited about. And sometimes it's titling. You have to look at the organization and the various titles. Somebody gets a title that is very appealing. The next thing you know, they're with their families. Do you know who I am? I have this title, and I do a lot for the organization. So there's things that we can talk about as we move forward to help everyone without, we, of course, hitting that bottom line, making that bottom line greener than red.
And Teresa and everyone, the whole work from home or work hybrid discussion that comes up constantly on my end, every day, every person really talks about it. And from my I am a firm believer in everyone in the office all the time. I just think it's healthier for people, but companies, a lot of companies today want everyone back in the office full time. And it's a big bone of contention with younger generation today where they want to work at home, they want days off, they want more things like that. So it's how to incorporate it. I know from my perspective, what I did last summer, my employee asked if they could work from home half the day Friday. So I said, fine. And then I didn't say anything and she didn't say anything. And she continued leaving on Fridays all through the winter. And I just saw that it made her happy. We had a discussion the other day. I said, you realize your last summer Fridays became permanent summer Fridays. And it's not that she's going home to not work. She's going home. She just wanted to work from home. And she said to me that just doing that made me so happy. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to take that away from her
Mhm.
because if making her happy is making me happy, and her productivity is just so much higher just from half a day. She leaves at around 1 o'clock on Friday, and she's been doing that just to work at home.
From last
But
summer?
that's so there's little things you can do that you'll realize. And the funny thing, weird thing is, Teresa, you'll say what you do for one, you have to do for all.
Mhm.
So if I'm in a position where I can do that with her, but what happens when you're at a sterling risk and you have hundreds of employees and you can't do it for one, because then you have to do it kind of for everyone, or have a policy, or have it in your handbook, things like that, right, Teresa?
That handbook. Yeah, definitely. What
That
would
handbook, so important.
would anybody like to talk about what their biggest HR challenge is at this point?
No.
We don't have any HR challenges. All right.
No, that's a good thing.
Okay. All right.
And another thing, Teresa, I have and everyone, I have companies that don't are kind of getting rid of their vacation policies because of in New York State, because New York State mandates time off.
Correct.
So how do you navigate your policy of time off when you're mandated by the state to have a certain amount of hours that you have to give them?
Mhm.
And it causes a lot of confusion in the workplace. And then employees are like, well, what do you mean I only have X amount of vacation, like a week or 2 weeks vacation? I had 3 weeks. And it really is dictated. And I think companies, because it's new, companies that really have to learn a balance between what they want to give time off wise and what they're mandated to give. Teresa, right?
Yes, correct. I mean, what Jolie's referring to is the city, especially if you're in a New York City, there's a certain amount of sick time that you have to give an employee. And so besides the fact that you've got sick time, of course, we've got the federal holidays and all that stuff. But what a lot of companies have done is moved from vacation to paid time off, PTO. And then you can put all the different categories under that PTO, and it helps. But definitely it's a nice little legal situation because you have to know when to add the time. You have to know when, as far as the sick time is concerned, you have to know when a person gets below that, what happens then. What if a person has to go on leave because of an illness that's going to last more than 5 days? So there's a lot of technical things that we can certainly get into in one of our sessions and have a whole conversation about it.
Yeah.
Any other
So
questions? So some of the things that we were thinking about, Jolie and I were talking. So of course we're talking about handbooks. So well, we can talk about that. We've spoken about hiring and interviewing, because interviewing is a whole nother skill unto itself, and know what questions to ask and what questions not to ask. I know we don't want to know, well, how many people are in your family, or if you're expecting soon, or things of that. Now there's certain questions we don't want to talk about. So that, and then of course we just talked about the onboarding practices once the person's on board. Performance management, we haven't brought that up yet. So performance management is something that we really need to understand. I am a proponent of a minimum at least once a year, have a conversation with your employee about how they're doing, what your expectations are, how close and how far are they apart. But you could do it on a quarterly basis, have some every quarter talk to your employee. And I know it's a lot, but if an employee is not doing well, you have the groundwork of, we've had a couple of conversations and they are documented, and this is where we have to go for our next stop. Leave laws, we kind of touched that, but we could go into that in more detail. Employee relations and difficult conversations. Their managers, I find a lot, are not, they can manage billion-dollar organizations, but ask them to talk to an employee because they came in late, it's a problem. So so managing an employee on how managing a manager on how to talk to employees, or having HR do it, one or the other, but at least having some type of a roadblock and you know what you need to do. Workplace investigations and things sometimes get serious because certain policies were broken. So you have to do a bit investigations. And I would say the manager would be the last person that you'd want to do a workplace investigation. So how do you go about that? We talked about pay equity and compensation. Jolie, you brought up managing remote and hybrid employees. That's a skill set unto itself, because just because somebody's home doesn't mean, and they say they're working, doesn't mean they're working. How much do you want to make sure they're working? Do you want to put a little thing on their computer and see it, watch them? Okay, they signed in, they signed off, they walked away. So there's certain trust factors that you have to have. A lot of it has to do with the output of what they're expected to do. And if they're not giving you that output, that's a clue that they're not really working as much as they need to. So the HR compliance updates we spoke about. And I know also what was brought up was leadership and supervisor essentials. Leadership is very important in an organization. You can make leaders in certain cases out of some of your employees, but managers and supervisors, certainly we can do that. One of the mistakes a lot of organizations do is, this person was fantastic. They were doing a great job, and I'm going to promote them to a supervisor because they were so great. And then the person falls flat on their face. And a lot of times they fall flat on their faces because they know what they're doing. They're a one solo. This is what I can do, and this is what I know how to do. Nobody said I knew how to manage one person or even 10 people. And so that takes a skill, and it takes managing, it takes various different classes for an employee to know what to do. So a lot of these things that managers take for granted, the person's just going to know what to do, and they don't. So those are just some of the things in our series of workforce development in HR that we're hoping and we're excited to bring forward. Jolie?
I think that we could wrap up, and anyone else have any questions? Kevin, do you want to say anything else?
Well, it's been a great start. I appreciate it. This HR is very important for every single company, and just like you rightly so mentioned, there are points that we all need to learn and stay updated. So regulations are changing, laws are changing, and as business owners, entrepreneurs, business leaders, we are that's our liability. That's our responsibility. We need to be learning, staying on top of it. So this is very educational, very informative. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, well, definitely. We thank everybody for attending, and we encourage you to come back again. See us. It's the first Friday of each month, right, Kevin?
Yes, correct. And
And
please,
anything you want to
Mhm.
discuss, send us an email or anything, call, and we could, bring it up as a topic.
If you go to avcci.us website, we have the events section, and you can sign up for the next HR committee meeting. Also, you can also see what other meetings are coming up next week. Also, packed with other committee and business community meetings, informative meetings. So I encourage you to go to our website avcci.us and sign up for avcci events. They're all educational, informative, also great opportunity for networking. So looking forward to having you all. I also put the website in the chat box.
Got it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Have a great
Have a
weekend.
good
Thank you.
weekend.
Have a
Appreciate it.
great
Thank you.
weekend. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Lou Bernardi. I'm the founder of Bright Path Benefits in Melville, New York. We are essentially an employee benefits agency specializing in all types of benefits, but a particular specialty in group health insurance plans. I've been in the business for about 34 years, and I've seen the industry of healthcare and health insurance change dramatically since the implementation of managed care, which really was designed to keep the consumer in the dark. These days, and really for the last 8 years of my career, we have changed everything about our agency to focus on plan sponsors, their members, patients, helping people really navigate and better understand the healthcare and the health insurance ecosystems. The deliberate attempt by both of those ecosystems to keep the consumer in the dark has really perpetuated increasing premiums every year on group health insurance plans, decreasing, diminishing benefits, and really an unsustainable health insurance and healthcare system. What we do is we use AI. We use best-in-class solution partners. Of course, we use insurance companies when we have to, especially their networks. But when possible, we are building high-performance health plans that really mitigate the artificial cost of healthcare and health insurance. We use AI to help people access and identify the very best doctors so that they can get the top care. And we use direct contracting, self-insurance, stop loss when applicable to help companies save dramatically. Examples of that savings are a company in New Jersey, a very large veterinary hospital system with about 400 employees, about 300 of which are on their health plan, reduced their cost by $1.2 million in year one. And that was not by shifting costs onto employees. It was actually identical benefits, exact same copays they had previously, just better partners. We're working with the best in class solution partners that supplement health insurance plans. What I'm really passionate about, and I just finished my book actually this week called Inside the Healthcare Heist. It is really there to elevate the IQ of CEOs, CFOs, re-engage with the C-suite so that they can work with us and HR as a team to build smarter health insurance plans. It's no secret that healthcare, health insurance is costing businesses significantly. It's a top 2 or 3 expense for most companies, but it doesn't have to be. There is a dividend sitting within your health insurance plan that can be redistributed back to you and your employees, put it into your growth fund, and use that to really help your business excel. A health insurance plan doesn't have to be the burden that it is too often. It can really be a differentiator. It can be a competitive advantage if you know how to build it properly. And that's really where we excel here at Bright Path Benefits. So I welcome any connections. Look for a copy of my book. I think it's in the AVCCI website under authors. We are not just your own average run-of-the-mill insurance broker focused on insurance premiums. We are focused on building high-performance health plans for businesses of all sizes. We have solutions for small groups, large groups, and mid-size employers. The solutions are plentiful. It's the approach. We call it the plan system, prioritizing employee health, leveraging technology, aligning for proper outcomes, and navigating the healthcare system. That's the mindset we've created. We're working with companies that are doing this every day. Look forward to connecting with like-minded business owners who really don't want to continue to pay 5, 10%, or even more than that every single year for something they have very little insights in. Thank you very much. Nice meeting you.
Hello, my name is Melina Picon. I'm a founding member at America's Virtual Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We would like you to join us today. I'm also president of PowerBooks LLC. We provide outsourced accounting, bookkeeping, controller services of businesses of all size. We help them transition from struggling in-house messy bookkeeping to high-level financial department. By outsourcing with us, our clients save up to 40% on their accounting costs, which allows them to focus on generating revenue. We guarantee honest, balanced, timely, and efficient financial services. If you would like to talk us on the phone, you can call us at 845-208-4649. And if you would like to email me, my email address is melina@powerbooks-llc.com. Thank you.
Hey everyone, my name is Brent Gary, and I'm proud to be a founder member of the AVCCI, America's Virtual Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I'm inviting you to join our new movement at avcci.us. In addition, I'm a fractional CMO at Gary Consulting, where I work with business owners who are past the startup stage and fully into scaling, but they need your marketing to go from guesswork to growing. Thank you. Have a great day.
Hi, I'm Stacy Simbrom. I am a member of the AVCCI. I am also one of the leads of the Women in Business Committee and the Health and Wellness Committee. I run a company called Reflection Project. I am a coach. I am an integrative wellness coach. And what that means is I work with individuals who want to optimize their lives, do better with their wellness, do better in their relationships, and feel better about themselves and the world that they live in. I take an integrated approach, which helps you to learn how to leverage your 3 centers of intelligence, which is your brain, your logic, your emotions, and your body, which is your intuition. I bring several different modalities into this work. I've been doing this work for about 15 years now, and I would look forward to working with you and collaborating with you in this space. If this sounds like something that you would like to learn more about, please contact me either by phone or by email. Thank you very much, and I look forward to meeting with you soon. Bye-bye.
This is Tommy DeMisa, one of the partners of Vanguard Benefits. I'm excited to be a new member of the AVCCI. And, it's an organization really that I can tell already from being connected to it that has reach nationally and across many different verticals in business. So I'm excited to be a part of that. So really quick, what I do, one of the partners, as I say, at Vanguard Benefits, and we're an employee benefits agency. We're laser focused on that employee benefits experience. So that means we work with employer groups as they look to create strategic employee benefits solutions. We look to come in and try to help them stabilize their costs around their benefits. And a lot of what we deal with is when folks are looking to attract or retain talent. So that's where we live. We also work to help businesses and nonprofit organizations find ways to really stay compliant around their employee benefits and offset a lot of the burden of implementing an employee benefits plan. So what I like to say is I was just with a client yesterday, and I like to say we become the outsourced benefits management team for our clients. So our largest client has about 800 employees, and our smallest client has 2 employees. And really where we make the biggest impact is from about 50 to 300 employees. That's where we find that we're really well situated to work with those types of groups. We work with the leadership team, and then we do one-on-one education as appropriate for our clients. So really, we know how expensive benefits can be, and it often is a very personal conversation as it relates to somebody's family and their budget. So we make sure that we're always available to educate. And then we give that one-on-one service through my operations and client service team throughout the year. So I'm always looking forward to meeting with different employer groups, some different strategic partners. For my entire career, I've worked with different CPAs and accountants and other trusted advisors. So happy to be a member of AVCCI, and I look forward to connecting with everybody. And let's reach out. Let's make a new relationship. Take it easy. Thanks.
Hello, I'm Suzanne Beck. I'm the sales manager at Preferred Events, and I'm a proud member of the Americans Virtual Chamber of Commerce, and I'm excited to be here. At Preferred Events, we are the preferred choice for your event rentals throughout the New York metropolitan area and beyond. Whether you're planning a corporate event, a charity walk or run, a fundraiser or gala, a festival, school event, or private celebration, we provide the rentals and the support needed to bring your event to life. Our inventory includes tents, chairs, linens, staging, flooring, fencing, structures, tables, and so much more. What truly sets us apart is the commitment to customer service and helping our clients create successful and memorable events. We work with corporations, nonprofits, schools, municipalities, and event professionals, and we love the opportunity to learn more about your upcoming events and what you're looking to do. If you're planning an event and need a reliable rental partner, please reach out. I look forward to connecting with fellow AVCCI members and finding ways we can support one another's success. Thank you for watching, and I hope to meet you soon.
Welcome to America's Virtual Chamber of Commerce and Industry. My name is Joe Beauchamp. I'm one of the founding members here. I'm also the chair of the leadership committee. I'm here to help leaders develop strategies. My company is Beauchamp Team Growth Solutions. We help business owners and business leaders to develop their leadership skills, the leadership skills of their team. We know that better leaders get better results, and we provide that leadership strategy, training, and education for business leaders to run their companies better. Hope you can join us at the America's Virtual Chamber of Commerce. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Hi, everyone. My name is Christy Brink, and I'm the owner of Lux Escapes by Christy, personal travel planning, and the co-chair of the Women in Business Committee. I'm a passionate traveler and work closely with my clients to plan personal, curated itineraries around the world. I research the best value, work with local experts around the world, and provide convenience and support so you can travel more and plan less. I am relationship driven, so it's important to me to get to know my clients so I can deliver the best travel experience with each trip. If Women in Business resonates with you, please join me as we work to provide education, inspiration, and support for all women that join. I look forward to getting to know you all. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Rick Drum, and I am the founder of Peak Growth Solutions, Peak Leadership Teams, and Peak Micro Learning. Prior to starting those companies, I've led companies in manufacturing and distribution in the music industry, which included being president of D'Addario and Company, which is based on Long Island, and also president of Vic Firth Incorporated, which is based up in Boston. So I ran companies for 33 years, and then I started my own coaching business. Again, Peak Growth Solutions, Peak Leadership Teams, and Peak Micro Learning. So I broke them up into three pieces because I use Peak Growth Solutions to basically go in and diagnose an organization. I created an app called the Hidden P&L. And what that app does is it does a survey of the leadership team, middle management, and frontline workers. So the leadership team has 30 statements that they rate, middle management 20 statements, frontline workers 12 statements. And out of assessing those statements, I can understand where the alignment or misalignment is inside the organization. And then I can help the organization see what their regular P&L isn't showing them. I call it the hidden P&L, and where they are leaking all kinds of money and opportunities inside the organization. Peak Leadership Teams does the fixing. It's on the ground. It is working hand in hand with the leadership team and helping them create alignment, create their culture, and create the right structure to help the organization achieve whatever vision that it wants to achieve. Peak Micro Learning is a series of 700 micro courses that range in time from 5 to 15 minutes. And that is really the maintenance of the organization. So those courses are each course is singularly focused on a specific topic, and they are asynchronous, and they provide a wide range of skill sets to study, but also, most importantly, the durable skills, which are becoming increasingly important to train your people on. So those are the three main services that I offer. I diagnose the organization. I work with the leadership team in person to help the organization with its vision of growth and execution. And then I also provide micro courses to continually train and maintain the workforce. My website is peakgrowthsolutions.com, and my email address is rick@peakgrowthsolutions.com, and my phone number is 774-249-5131. And I look forward to meeting all of you.